Good evening, Springfield Township High School, and welcome to Game Day Live Year 2. It's homecoming weekend. I'm ready, boys.
So am I.
It's a beautiful night, great football weather, 61 degrees. Looks like the sunset's going to be around 6:24. Kickoff 7:30. I am very excited for this. So tell me a little bit about what's going on in Springfield right now. What are you guys thinking?
Well, let's start off with the golf team record here. We have them at 7-5. They had their best year in about 7 years. We had 4 people make it to Suburban Ones, and it was an overall great year for Springfield. 2 people, Ryan Furman, Austin Magincala, made it to districts, and overall phenomenal year for the golf team.
Yeah, they've really done amazing. And boys soccer making a big playoff push. Here they are coming out of their game right now. They just won 2-0 against Lower Moreland. They have clinched playoffs. They are looking to capitalize on this and take every chance that they can get to get a playoff victory.
Going to the flip side of soccer, girls soccer beat Upper Dublin this year. That's a pretty big, if you could call it, upset for them. They beat them 3-1. So they're having a phenomenal year as well. Going on to field hockey, Tom.
And we'd also like to take a moment and realize all the construction that's going on here. We're getting a new gym. Our new parking lot is in. Our new turf soccer field and field hockey field. So it's all in. And home football is back. We're here again for another year of homecoming with our home football team.
And the field hockey, let's just take a moment to realize that they had the game of the week the past coming week against Wissahickon, I believe.
Based on all your votes.
Yeah, based on all your votes. So, it's amazing to see Springfield have all the support around us go on and vote and make sure that we really got the best for our school. And they're 6-4 right now. They're looking to make a playoff rush. They're really doing their best and doing everything that they can to capitalize. Water polo as well. They're doing great. Boys water polo making it to states. That is huge. They're awesome. The 4th seeded states. Girls water polo, the 3rd seeded states. That is amazing. They are doing fantastic. Girls water polo just beat Central York, I think 15-4. That has been a great game. 11-point victory. That's amazing. Boys winning 9-2 against Pennington, and their senior nights are on Monday. So I would like to see a bunch of people and get a lot of support coming out there. Girls water polo starts at 4:30. Boys at 5:30.
So we're going to move on to the real reason why we're all here. The game tonight between New Hope Solebury and the Springfield Spartans.
First of all, second year of Game Day Live.
Yeah.
Continuing the tradition.
So we got to continue the tradition. All 3 of us were here last year. Hopefully, someone will carry the torch into next year and continue doing this because it's a great tradition, and I really think all of us have a great time doing it. Mm-hmm. And let's start off with talking about how home football is back. This is amazing. This team's 4-2. They're doing fantastic. They're averaging 302 yards a game. That's really good. They're coming in 24 total TDs. 4 a game. They're putting up 24 a game, and not to mention that not all of their points are coming off of touchdowns. So they also have a great kicker in Sully Shackelford, who's been 16 for 18 on the year. That's 90% accuracy. That is excellent, especially for high school kicking.
So if we go into the specifics here, we're going to look at some passing, some all-purpose yards. As you know, Max Perry, our quarterback, 55% completion rate. He has a 117.5 QB rating, 14 TDs this year, and just over 690 yards. So he's doing all right at the quarterback position. We go to all-purpose yards. Carter Stepney in the backfield with Max. He's got 436 yards. Perry total has 1,051. So he's up there doing the facilitating back there. A couple handoffs to Carter, a couple passes. If you didn't know, Wilson Cruson, one of the main targets that Max has hit this season, is actually injured, so they will have to make up for that somehow, some way, but I'm sure they'll find a way.
Definitely, and not doing it all in the air. We have their rushing stats. Carter Stepney, their lead running back, has a total of 318 yards on the year, 8.6 yards per carry, which is a wonderful number there. He's got 3 touchdowns, and Max Perry also not all doing it with his arm. He's got 361 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns with his legs. Also moving to receiving, Brennan Flores, 120 yards. Wilson Cruson, 168, but he is injured tonight. He did break his arm. Paul Asman stepping up with 173 yards, and Brennan Flores also 60 yards per game, 3 touchdowns. Wilson had 5 touchdowns, and Paul also did have a touchdown on the year.
And I just want to comment on how well the backfield has played together with Carter and Max together. They really seem like they have a lot of chemistry together. There's a lot of communication going on, and I really think that the receivers worked well together. Wilson and Max, they had a lot of chemistry together, and they worked really well. So they're going to need to make up for it a little bit, and I think Carter can step up and do that with the legs. And I think Paul, he's a tall tight end. He's hauling everything in. So I really think that he can come up clutch tonight and do all that he can.
Right. I think the best way to take off that long passing game that they had is to give it to Carter. I know that he's really good at chipping away at the 4 or 5 yards. If they give it to him on the pitch outside, he can get those first downs. So I really think that that can make up for the deep bomb. They might look for it here and there, depending on how their other receivers are doing. But for now, I think that they could really do some chipping away in the backfield.
I would definitely agree.
And moving on to not only the Spartans but our opponents tonight, New Hope's Soulberry. They're rushing. They have a bit of a committee backfield. They have one running back with 6 touchdowns and 2 running backs with 5 touchdowns, which 23 rushing touchdowns in total. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for the Spartans D line, but they are looking phenomenal this year. So I believe that they're going to stop them tonight. And moving on to their passing game.
So their passing game, first, before we go to passing, we're going to do some all-purpose. 3 of their players have 60 yards a game. So that's something that the defense is going to have to look out for. That means that they're very diverse. They have multiple guys they can go to. Some other teams we saw previously this year, Valley Forge Military Academy, they had one guy who they handed the ball off to. We stopped him, won the game. This, 3 people, it's a different story. So you need to stop all 3 of them. How they do that, it's up to the defense. And they're going to have to come up clutch. Both the linebackers, front line, deep guys, everything. Can't let those deep plays hurt you.
And to go on to our defense, like Wilson, he was not only a wide receiver, he's also defensive back. Yeah. So that's going to be a very key loss. That's going to be a key loss there. You're really going to need a lot of kids to step up on both defense and offense to come out.
He had a couple interceptions.
Yeah, this team that we're playing, they're 5-2. They got 11 pass TDs, so they're not really working it a lot in the air. They're working a lot on the ground. So I think you're going to have to load up a lot in the box. Make sure that anyone that gets across that line of scrimmage is taken down immediately. But they're coming out with all these touchdowns, but are they converting the point after attempts? Which really, when you have 2 teams like this that are very offensive, it's really going to come down to that.
Shootout.
Yeah, their kicker, 23 for 31. That's subpar.
Yeah,
70%. That's not good. If you can capitalize on that, bring pressure whenever you have a kick. That is going to be huge.
And converting or comparing the passer ratings, the QB passer rating for New Hope this year is 92.7, while Max has a QB rating of 117.5. So coming down to those close games that QBs making passes, not throwing interceptions, can really decide a game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and it's pretty evident that this team likes to go with the run, and they have 3 key running backs that are very good. So they're going to be fresh. They're going to have fresh legs a lot. They're not going to be relying on one person. So they're really going to have to keep up with that. And not to mention that where am I looking here? That I don't know what I'm saying. Their receiver, they have 1 wide receiver, I believe his name Pat Cooney. 8 touchdowns.
Okay.
Out of their 11. That is going to be. You're really gonna have to lock him up. So
I believe that's one of the 3 with over the 60.
Yeah. So if you're coming in and you're stopping these kids that have these 60-yard gain, like these running backs that have these 6 touchdowns and these 5 TDs, then you also still have to worry about this kid who's such a threat in the air.
So we talked about their passing game, their running game. Now let's talk about some specific picks, players in general that you think really need to stand out this game if they want to get the win.
Yeah, Tom, what are you thinking here?
I'm going to go Max Perry, obviously, for the quarterback. I believe he's going to have a great game tonight. New Hope's defense looking a little battered on the other end. I think Max shreds them up for about 200 yards tonight, 2 touchdowns, and I think he's going to add another rushing one.
I'm gonna go with Paul Asman here. He's tall, he's quick. He can really haul in those passes when you really need them to. So I'm going Paul Asman, 75 yards. He'll step in the end zone once.
I'm gonna piggyback off what I said earlier with Carter. I really think that with one receiver down who has caught some touchdowns, also interceptions on the defensive end, I really think Carter's gonna have to do a lot of chipping away on in the backfield in place of those long bombs maybe not being there as much. So I really think that his running game is going to be important.
Without a doubt. So let's talk more about the night here tonight. We have 6:15 is when tickets open up. The time right now is 5:40. So we are going to have about 35 minutes until ticket, or 25 minutes until tickets go on sale. So you guys are going to have to go right to the ticket booth right over here. Then 7:20 is the national anthem, and 7:30 is kickoff. And also at halftime, there will be the homecoming court, which we have Tommy Nadolski on. So we have Jake Trader, Tommy Nadolski, Max Perry, Scott Rockman, and Dean Hanlon are all on the court for the guys. And the girls are Annie Ryan, Caroline Gozzard, Emily Walsh, Samantha Wynn, and I'm blanking.
Caroline Goss.
No, I already said Caroline Gozzard.
Gracie Warren.
Gracie Warren. Or who said that? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we would also like to thank Mr. Meter for having us put all of this on for us, helping us out. This is just, it's been a great year too.
It's a good tradition to continue. Hopefully
yeah.
someone, like you said, we pass the torch, someone does it next year.
Definitely.
As do I. So there's just one more thing that we need from everyone in Springfield, and that's to get rowdy at this game. This game, it's going to mean a lot. You know, it's homecoming. We had kind of a makeshift season last year.
Definitely
so,
didn't get the win here last year at homecoming.
So this year, we're going to need everyone to get real rowdy. Yeah. So thank you guys for a great night, and go Spartans.